Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shuttler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
Get ready because Tyler Richardson and the High Bank Boys are coming to Sigourney on Saturday, April 26th at Enchanted Events, 20595 255th Street, just south of Sigourney. Order your tickets online by going to enchantedeventsvenue.com or find the Enchanted Events Facebook page for the ticket links. There are 3 different ticket options: general admission, VIP, or reserve. Doors open at 7 and the cash bar and band starts at 8. It's Tyler Richardson and the High Bank Boys, Saturday, April 26th at Enchanted Events, just south of Sigourney.
Tonight, Wednesday, April 16th. Can I have roll call, please?
McLaughlin. Present. Oathbaker.
Here.
Lentz. Here. Schultz.
Present.
Clark.
Here.
Conrad.
Present.
Approval or amendment of tentative agenda.
Make a motion to approve the tentative agenda.
Second.
McLaughlin. Yes. Oathbaker.
Yes.
Lentz.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
The consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a request is made prior to voting.
Can we take vote on B and H separately?
B and H separately. Vote those two together or
No.
each one separate?
Each one separate, please.
So I did have a question on I, approval of the community betterment project. Can you help me out on that? Is that on the terrace or that tree removal?
Yes.
It's on our side?
Yeah, it was on
Okay.
us, yeah.
Okay. So that's all I had. The other question was that.
Any other amendments to the agenda? If not, can I have a motion to approve A, C through G, and I through K?
Make a motion that all of the consent agenda items except for B and H be approved.
And second. McLaughlin. Yes. Oathbaker.
Yes.
Lentz.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve item B, approval of council accounts payable claims?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda on B.
Second.
McLaughlin. Yes. Oathbaker.
Yes.
Lentz.
Abstain.
Schultz.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Okay, next, approval to approve the contract for musical services for July 4th celebration with Corey Waller and the Wicked Things.
I don't know if everyone was here yet when I told Connie, we're gonna later vote on asking Brothers Market to do the roundup in May, I think is what Rick said. And so that'll probably cover, I would assume, cover the hotel for the gentleman, I assume you guys, I don't know, and for the band, and then the rest will go to the fund to help pay for other things that we have lined up. So I just wanted everybody to know we're all on the same page.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yep.
And we don't have to provide sound and lighting, that's all provided by the band. And was there another question?
The
Oh,
cover
the
thing.
trailers, they're good with just setting up on regular trailers or
Gooseneck
whatever.
trailer,
Yeah,
like we did
doesn't
before.
have to have a cover or anything.
I will say we read it, and if it's raining, they still expect full payment, just forewarning everybody before that's it.
That's
Yeah.
pretty standard, right?
But if
But we
there's,
don't have to put up a canopy.
Because that was in the contract.
Yes, covered shelter for everything. So, otherwise, I would make a motion to approve consent agenda item H.
Second.
McLaughlin? Yes.
Osbaker?
Yes.
Lentz? Yes. Schultz?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conrad?
Yes.
Next is public hearings. It is the time and place for the public hearing on budget estimate for fiscal year July 1, 2025 through July 30th, 2026. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Osbaker?
Yes.
Lentz? Yes. Schultz?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conrad?
Yes.
The public hearing was published in the Sigourney News Review on April 9th, 2025, as required by law. We need to discuss the purpose of the public hearing, the budget estimate for fiscal year July 1 to 2025 through June 30, 2026. Do we have any input from the public and/or the council? Hearing none, should we ask for approval of the resolution now or later on in the
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
But I have a note here to do it now instead of after the public hearing.
No, I just put that on there so you, so.
Okay, well, I need a motion to close the public hearing then.
A motion to close the public hearing.
Second. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Osbaker?
Yes.
Lentz? Yes. Schultz?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conrad?
Yes.
Okay, the public hearing of the budget estimate for fiscal year July 1 to 2025 to July 30th, 2026. The proposed tax asking is $16.01045 per 1,000. Taxable valuation on real property. The agriculture tax asking will remain the same at 3.00375 per 1,000 taxable valuation. Land property will remain the same at 3.00375 per 1,000 valuation on the land property. We need approval of the proposed resolution 2025-04-07 to adopt city budget for fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026.
I move that we approve the proposed resolution number 2025-04-07 to adopt the city budget for fiscal year starting July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
Second.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Osbaker?
Yes.
Lentz? Yes. Schultz?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conrad?
Yes.
Additional city business, Keene County Economic Development, KCED report. Gary?
2 points. Met with, had the second meeting with the community groups in Kyoto. The second meeting was held on Tuesday. It was a very productive meeting. Kyoto is very committed now to opening up a daycare center in the Kyoto Elementary School. And the Kyoto team is now actively planning for a fundraising activity to take place during the end of May, near the end of May, probably at Lagos Acres. And so I'm very optimistic that things are going to move forward. The financials are admittedly challenging, but they understand that. And we've gone through a number of scenarios so that we're sure all of the stakeholders are actually aware of how challenging this will be, but they are. Sigourney is not quite so far along. Sigourney has more financial challenges currently than does Kyoto. And specifically, the differences revolve around overhead Since the daycare facility will be housed in the elementary school in Kyoto, they don't have to sustain utilities, internet service, lawn mowing, all of the things that go along with maintaining the property. They don't have that overhead. And the arithmetic that we've worked up to this point in time says it's desperately difficult to sustain that level of overhead, given the revenue that you can generate in a daycare center. So we need to explore we're probably going to need to explore some alternative approaches for Sigourney. That's just beginning. I've got some ideas, but we haven't discussed them in sufficient detail to actually share the particulars in public yet. We're also going to reach out to other school districts in the immediate area to see if we can form alliances with them as well. So I'll keep the group posted as we go. We're also planning to bring in some speakers to talk to our businesses in a business builder environment about artificial intelligence and using it in one's business for marketing purposes and various other tasks that we find cropping up. We've got contacts with AI experts at Wade Penn, and we've also made contact with a group at ISU who are experts in technology for use by business. I think it would be interesting and informative for the local business leaders, and we'll let you know when we actually have them scheduled. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Next, discussion and possible approval to release a lien on property 215 East Elm Street in Sigourney, 52591, with resolution number 2025-04-08, authorizing the mayor and clerk to sign the release.
So a couple weeks ago, Amy Decline is looking at buying the 215 East Elm Street. And when she went to the courthouse, she found out that the city still had a $15,000 lien against it. And this was for a CVG grant back in 1993. And according to the law, the 20 years has went and nothing's been done, so we are able to release the lien if that's what you guys wish.
They've complied with everything that they were supposed to do. It was just making sure that once they, if I remember right, CDBG grants were to fix up a bunch of properties, smaller ones, and be like, but it was so that people could continue to live there. So the idea was you live there, you don't repay, kind of like when we do our tax assessments, or not assessments, but you know, it starts off at 0 and then just gradually climbs up. This should have been all forgiven because they've complied with everything. It's not like they owe us money or whatever. We just had a lien in case they would decide. If they would have sold it the year after, like they're trying to sell it now, then we would have recouped whatever we had in. But this way, they've completed everything they were supposed to do.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Bill.
It's terrible being a historian.
John had mentioned that there might be a filing fee for the leads. Would that go back on Amy?
Either Amy or Shelley.
So,
And it was like $7 or something to file the release.
I think we budgeted for that.
The $7.
So I move that we approve the
Just make sure you change the release. The resolution number,
Oh, 25. Thank you.
okay?
Got it.
All right, sorry.
We good? Well, I move that we approve the release of the lien on the property at 215 East Elm Street in Sigourney.
Second.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Osbaker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Next, discussion of possible approval of asking Brothers Market to round up for July 4th, 2025 events. Stephanie?
We kind of got not a jump start on fundraising this year, so this is kind of the last hurrah to ask them to do it. And she said she talked to Rick. He said if the council approves it, we can do May as our month to round up, and then we'll put it in the fund where all the other fundraising money went. But we'll help pay for the band and the
All
hotel.
events.
Yep. So that's all I got.
Make a motion to approve Aston Brothers Market to round up for July 4th events.
Second.
Do we need to specify the month of May?
In the month of May.
Second.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Osbaker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Next week I'll just do it every other month.
Okay, discussion and possible approval of Jacob Landon completing movie scenes on Jefferson and Washington Street. Possible approval, resolution 2025-04-09 to close Jefferson and Washington Street if deemed necessary.
This is late night, right?
Jacob.
Partially. You want me to talk
I was
now?
gonna say, are you Jacob?
Yes.
I am, yeah.
Yes, please do.
Yes, okay. So yeah, I'm making a short film this July, July 19th through the 21st. So the plan is on, the 19th is a Saturday, so I think we're planning on the afternoon of the 19th to be filming on the square when there's not going to be a lot of people around. We might have people come into the square as extras, but they would be willing and participating, so they would know what's going on rather than, a work day where there's people just out because of their jobs, right? So it will be that Saturday, or there won't be a lot of cars around. If we would need to have any of the streets closed, it would be probably the street that goes south from the Copper Lantern. So is that Jefferson Street, I think? Yeah. So if Ashley can pull up that aerial drawing of this square that kind of explains it. Yeah, right there. Okay, so as you can see there on Jefferson Street, basically what's happening is the character is like having this encounter where he's like running through like the town square area, like kind of having like this manic episode, and he ends up running alongside a car. And it's at that point where he's actually on the street. Prior to that, he's probably going to be on the sidewalk, going on the north side of the square. So it's only when he crosses the street by the Copper Lantern and then he starts going south is that we are actually having him on the street running next to this car. And then there's also a separate scene where he's leaving the bar and is being chased by this entity, and that is at nighttime, so closing time. It could be, we'd probably do that Sunday night. They close the bar at 5 on Sunday, so it would be as soon as it's dark enough, so it could be like 9, 10 o'clock. Rather than if we did Saturday night, when they close, it'd be like 12 to 1. So Sunday night, we would be doing that around maybe 10. He would be running north of the Copper Lantern about 1 block. And we just see this guy running, and there's no cars in the scene or anything. So that's kind of the context of it. Yeah.
So you need the street closed on 2 nights?
I don't know if we'll even need it closed. I guess I'm asking if you guys think it needs to be closed or not. I think we can work without it being closed, but if it's a safety thing where you think it should be closed, then that's also fine with me.
Would you have somebody there to manage traffic? I'm just thinking of like the 4th of July when they, run the race, and they'll have different people at different corners just kind of blocking off traffic. Because I'm assuming you're not going to film this guy for 3 hours running down the street, do that many takes, are you?
No,
You hope not anymore.
I estimate the stuff on the square to last total of like maybe 1 to 2 hours, you know. In the particular part where he's running next to the car, maybe it'd be like 20 minutes total. And it's basically like 2 or 3 different shots and then another shot from inside a business where we're watching him through the windows running alongside this car. That's basically it. That's all it is. You know, it's
Because
pretty.
that would be my only concern, just be, I don't know that it has to be closed, because obviously you probably don't want barricades in your film.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can work with that as well. You know, where we're done with the north side of the square, so we can move the barricades over there, and we won't see them because now we're on the east side. You know, where we could do something like that because it's not one single take where we see all this happening in one shot. You know, it's gonna cut, you know, between all the action and stuff like that. So.
How long do you anticipate this short film to be?
When it's finished,
When it's finished?
20 minutes, I think, somewhere around that.
Okay, and the purpose of this film is what?
Just to make it something to, you know, if I want to work on other film jobs, you know, basically on my portfolio. And that's also it's a passion project. You know, it kind of helps. I think it promotes the community a little bit because we're bringing in. I have like a crew of 12 people who are pretty much none of them are from here, so they're coming here, staying at an Airbnb north of town. We're, you know, getting food here in town, you know, so it's going to help the economy a little bit for those days that we'll be doing it. So it's good for everybody, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Well, I guess I'm thinking we either ought to set it up to close them or not. I mean, if deemed necessary, I'm not sure when that would be. And, you know, because we're talking into the weekend, right?
Yeah. Saturday.
So, you know, we're talking barricades and stuff like that, you know, there has to be.
I would think we can make that part of the motion or not.
What's the traffic situation that time of night, Adam?
What time are you talking?
For the night or
On Saturday night?
Well, like I said, they close at 5.
On Saturday night, they close at 2.
He's doing it on Sunday.
We're doing the night part is Sunday night. The stuff during the daytime is Saturday afternoon. So it's 2 different days. Like the scene at night, he's just running from the north side of Copper Lantern going north on that street. So he's not going into the square at all. You know, I would assume that it would be pretty quiet at nighttime. There's just some houses. People don't go that way to go to the highway usually, you know. But it would be like probably 9:30, 10, just as soon as it's dark enough to look like it's basically 1 in the morning, like a normal closing time of a bar would be,
On Saturday.
if that makes sense.
I would say we
What
approve.
about Saturday though? Are you going to need to have street scenes? Do we need to limit traffic? Or what's
Saturday
happening
was the
Saturday?
afternoon, right?
Saturday is in the afternoon.
And it was like one street, but the rest was on the square, like on the,
On the
Sidewalk.
sidewalk, yes. Yes.
it might not be bad to have that wherever side is the square.
I would say
Close
we
for
approve
that.
the motion to close it just to be safe. And then if you contact the sheriff's office, I'm sure we can have a deputy maybe
Okay,
come and assist,
yeah,
just to make sure
sure,
there's law enforcement there.
yeah, yeah.
But you'll have to contact the office and request
Okay.
that.
Is there any charge with that? No, okay. Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me.
So if we close it on Saturday,
Saturday
how
afternoon.
many, do you have like a window that we could say it's gonna be closed from?
3 to 5, 4 to 6.
I would say, I mean, what is usually the most quiet time on the square on a Saturday afternoon?
Saturday in the afternoon is gonna be busy,
Okay.
because you got the restaurants around town, you're gonna have, I mean,
Okay.
you said that this is in July,
July, yeah, 19th and 20th.
so you're gonna have golf carts, rangers,
So would it be
Kids on
better to do
bikes.
that Sunday afternoon rather than Saturday? I mean, I can change it to work, you know,
Barn
with
wire's
what you
closed on
guys.
Sundays.
Hmm?
Barn wire's closed on Sundays, isn't it? So that would be slower. That,
Everything would be
Corner
slower
traffic.
on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Because there's gonna be a lot fewer businesses out there.
Okay, and I mean, that works, you know, everything involved in the square can be on the same day, you know, have it over and done with that day. If you guys wanna do Sunday, that's fine, yeah.
I think that's preferable.
Yeah.
Sunday, and then what hours are you thinking?
Let's look at, is between 1 and 4, is that okay? I mean, it could be where we're running behind on our schedule, you know, I would love to
I thought you wanted
say,
it dark, but.
that's the afternoon.
the night season.
I don't think that we would need
Two
to
different
close
seasons.
for the night, unless you wanna have it closed for everything, then we can, you know, like, we could have it closed for both, I guess.
Okay, so like 1 to 4, 7 to 10?
Yep.
Or 8 to 11?
Yeah, let's do 8 to 11. Yeah. 1, 4, 8 to 11.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-04-09 to close Jefferson and Washington on what day?
That'd be
Like 20th?
Sunday, 20.
July 20th, 2025, between the hours of 1 and 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Second.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad.
Yeah.
Thank you. Park and Rec, I show nothing on the agenda. Street and sanitation, set a street and sanitation committee meeting.
Well, we've been meeting on Tuesdays, it seems like that's the clearest spot on the schedule.
So you're talking about next Tuesday, I can tell you.
That'd be the 20th.
Trial in Centerville, so.
22nd.
Okay,
No, if we did it like at 7, I'd be back.
why? How about Wednesday?
Wednesday would be fine.
Who else?
I'm on that committee.
And you're okay with
I'm tired.
that? I know the feeling.
I know.
What time do you think I'm in? Or in, what time?
Well, what'd you say, 5, 6?
6.
6? Okay, that's fine with me.
6 on Wednesday?
I'm
Yes.
clear for that too, on the 23rd.
Yes.
All right.
6 o'clock p.m.
And that's at 6.
Yes.
Okay. Water and wastewater, discussion and update wastewater permit.
No. Need it, I don't know, lose its name.
Our wastewater permit for our wastewater facility expires at the end of this month, so we have a new one. Takes over May 1st, and it lasts for 5 years. Kind of business as usual, but there is one big change, and I think you should have them, it's a sample frequency on how many times we have to sample now. That basically got cut in half. We used to have to sample 2 times a week. We did it on Monday, Wednesday for multiple things, send it off to a lab by way of a prepaid UPS label. We're only sampling 1 time a week now, and that's huge.
Now or when?
In May 1st, when
Okay.
the permit takes over.
Okay.
I did it up on, it's on the
It's
board
sideways,
there.
sorry.
That's okay.
I tried.
There are 3 things that we don't even have to sample for anymore, and everything got cut in half, and I figured up about what that's gonna mean to us on a yearly basis, and we're talking saving about $7,000 a year on shipping and sampling.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
It's highly
about $7,000 a year.
So.
And the other thing is we have to sample 2 times a week before on Monday and Wednesday, because it has to get to the lab the next day, so you gotta allow 24 hours. Sometimes that was difficult when you're talking Christmas, New Year's, days off, UPS doesn't go. main breaks, if we were shorthanded, if we had a snowstorm, it all plays a part. So this is big. I mean, Brent and I are jumping up and down because of this. They come out with a 16-page rationale, they call it, on how they come to this, the end of this, and how we test. I read it, Brent and I kind of read it, and it's good nighttime reading because it's way up here how they decide all this. But our Sager system is working very well. We're meeting all of our ammonia limits. We're meeting our E. coli limits. Our BOD loading is good. So everything is working the way it should. And that probably, they've had a couple of years to look at everything, and that probably plays a part in it. But
Is this a decision they make city by city?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
It's not a blanket sort of?
No, every town is different, every town has its own little permit, so, yeah, it's gonna save us a lot of time of running out there, it's gonna save us a lot of hours. I mean, this.
So this is a reward for a well-managed environment, basically?
Yeah, you could kind of look at it, I mean, we did a $6 million upgrade, and everything is working beautifully the way it should. You spend $6 million, you save $7,000 a year. That's not the trade-off I was looking for, but the amount of hours that Brett puts in testing and doing all this, it's all getting cut in half. This is big. So
We go with the budget.
yeah.
It's great.
So,
Yay.
No, well done, seriously.
That is good.
It's not asking for approval here.
He just wanted to talk about it.
When you're talking about it. Okay. Thank you, Donnie.
Yep.
Public safety, I'm showing nothing on the agenda. Public safety, finance, nothing on the agenda. Human resources. Discussion of possible approval to lower the hours of the office assistant position from full-time, that's 32 to 40 hours, to part-time, 16 to 20 hours. We've already had a discussion with Jess, and of course, she would like more hours, but she'll work with this.
So when we first hired, would you been the first person at that position?
For full-time,
Yeah.
yes.
And you were not full-time just sitting up there, you were also providing services to Alan, right?
Yes.
As an assistant to the police chief. So the duties up front haven't really changed, but we, in hopes of having the police force, we've done that, but since we haven't done that, there's just not a lot for us kids to do by 32 to 40 hours.
And with the credit cards, there's less cash, there's less checks. More people are just going online, paying their water bill. There's just not a lot of traffic anymore for a full-time position.
When would this take place?
Probably May 1st. I guess we didn't really talk about.
We talked about that, and don't know that we really talked about what her benefits would be. Because then we give you were you part-time for a while?
Mm-hmm.
And do we give you a benefit, access to insurance?
Yes.
Okay. Does she currently have that insurance?
She has dental and vision, no health insurance. Or that's somewhere else.
Did we prorate, I'm saying we prorated the benefit package to be some kind of standardized thing.
Yeah, it
Like
was,
something to fix it so it has the equivalent to so many hours. I thought.
I'd have to look back at in my records on what I did, what you guys did for me, and we could look at that. It was a percentage still, but it was a less like the city did 60 or 40, something along those lines.
Depending on the hours, I don't know, I think whenever we've done this, it was to incentivize someone who was, moving part-time to stick around, so.
How much, do you know how much dental and vision are? Like what our portion was? 'Cause- No, it's fine,
No.
I put you on the spot.
No. Like when I went to part-time, or just in
No,
general
like
right now?
what we are paying to provide that benefit to her today.
Do you
Because
know
I
that off
would,
the top of your head?
No, but I can grab it.
I just think it'd be easier to discuss what we are and aren't going to do if we know if it's, $100 a month or whatever. And it's flexible, and then we have somebody that's still there.
For dental
you know.
and vision, dental is, the city pays $112.67.
Per month?
Yes.
Okay,
And vision is $13.17.
so 125.
Would we go 50, decrease it 50% since they're decreasing the hours 50%?
No,
No?
I was, Randy
Addressing.
mentioned, just incentivizing somebody to stay at halftime. And I think if we cut our hours back, and we leave the benefits in place, I think that would be fair for this. And then it's all set there, and then if we get a police chief in 3 months, then if that person needs assistance, then we can see if she's willing to come back, but I think it gives her something. I would think everything else, the rate of pay would stay the same. We could, for this position, continue that. That's just my view.
Leave time comes up, doesn't matter.
Hmm?
Leave times,
That,
We did cut that in half, I think, when I went to part-time, so we would, she doesn't have any vacation yet until after September is when her year will start. So she would get, they get 12 hours of sick pay every month, so that would go down to 6.
that all sounds reasonable. I'm not on HR, so whatever recommendation.
Nothing.
Do we need to specify the change in benefits in this motion?
I'd make a motion that we lower the hours of the office assistant position from 32.40 to part-time of 16 to 20 hours a week. That her benefits for her dental and vision coverage, our portion and her portion would remain the same as they are now, and that her accrual of any leave is just tied with the amount of hours that she's working. So if she works half as many hours, she's gonna have half as much time.
Thank you. Second.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Postbaker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
You did a good job.
City clerk, discussion and possible approval to set the date and time for a public hearing regarding city budget amendment for fiscal year 2025.
I want it on May 21st at 6 p.m. I was trying for the 7th, but it's just not good.
Make a motion, we set the time and date of public hearing regarding the city budget amendment for fiscal year 2025 from May 21st at 6 p.m.
Second.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Postbaker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Public input? Public? Do you have any input? Council, anyone have any input?
I did have a question that was brought to me, asking about the food trucks that are stationed at various times around the community. And I think that's all been discussed as it pertains to the farmer's market and whatever. They're showing up elsewhere every once in a while as well. Question had to do with the fact that since it is competition for other folks that are working out of brick and mortar, do they have the permits to do that? So I would think that might be something to check out.
The ordinances require a permit to do that.
Or are they, like we had a concern when vendors for rag brine, are they meeting those kind of requirements? So I don't pretend to be an expert on the subject, however, and I haven't looked at ordinance, but this is not a time for discussion of all that. I'm just bringing it out and throwing it out on the table because it was presented to me.
You take it with my barbecue food truck, I'm gonna be real there.
I think they should at least be permitted. You don't have to-
What's that, Connie?
I think that they should at least be permitted to operate in.
I would agree.
If we
We
have,
require
if
everybody
we have
else.
an ordinance for that, if not, we get permission, so.
That's something we'll have to look into and discuss at the next meeting.
Yep, I'm just passing along. I haven't done any research.
Thank you.
I do want to say, tomorrow night is Cape County Endowment Foundation Grant Awards Night. 6:30 it starts, social hour at the Holy Trinity Parish Center in Peoria.
Okay, any other input? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
McLaughlin? Yes.